Are you feeling these signs? Your third eye is opening. Something powerful is happening to you, isn't it? You feel it, even if you can't fully explain it. The world doesn't look the same anymore. The things that used to seem important, money, status, superficial conversations, now feel empty, almost meaningless. You catch yourself questioning reality, sensing that there's something beyond what the eyes can see. Strange synchronicities keep showing up in your life, moments that feel too perfect to be mere coincidence. Time feels different, like it's moving faster or slower in certain moments. And then there are the sensations, the tingling between your eyebrows, the sudden headaches, the visions in your dreams that feel more real than waking life. You're not imagining this, you are awakening. Your third eye is opening. But before you embrace this shift, you must understand what it truly means, because this is not a game. This is the beginning of something that will change you forever. The third eye, known as the Ajna chakra in ancient traditions, has been spoken about for thousands of years. It is the gateway to higher consciousness, the seat of intuition, the bridge between the physical and the spiritual world. When it begins to open, your perception of reality expands. You start to see beyond the surface, beyond the illusions that society has conditioned you to accept as truth. You begin to sense energies, to feel the emotions of others as if they were your own, to receive messages in the form of visions, symbols, or sudden insights that come out of nowhere. But with this awakening comes a test, because seeing beyond the veil is not always beautiful. Sometimes it is terrifying.
Click subscribe to this channel to get more profound spiritual lesson.
One of the first signs that your third eye is opening is an overwhelming sense of awareness. You start noticing things you never paid attention to before. The lies in people's words become obvious. The hidden intentions behind their actions become clear. You begin to see the patterns in your own life, the cycles you've been trapped in, the unconscious habits that have been controlling you. This level of awareness can be unsettling. It forces you to confront truths that you might not be ready to face. It makes it impossible to live on autopilot anymore. You start questioning everything, your beliefs, your relationships, your purpose. And this is where many people turn back. They feel the awakening beginning, but the discomfort is too much, so they suppress it. They numb themselves with distractions, with entertainment, with substances, with anything that keeps them from looking too deeply. But you can't unsee what you've seen. Once the third eye begins to open, there is no going back. Then there are the physical sensations. The third eye is not just a concept, it is an actual energy center located in the middle of your forehead, slightly above the space between your eyebrows. As it activates, you may feel a pressure there, almost like a pulse or a vibration. Some people experience headaches, dizziness, or even temporary blurred vision. Your sleep patterns may change. You might wake up at strange hours, feeling like something or someone is trying to communicate with you. Your dreams become more vivid, sometimes prophetic. You start seeing symbols, geometric patterns, eyes, ancient scripts, things that feel familiar even if you don't consciously understand them. This is because your subconscious mind is beginning to translate the information your third eye is receiving. But the most intense part of this awakening is the shift in perception. Colors may start to look more vibrant. The sky, the trees, the faces of people, everything takes on a different quality, almost as if you are seeing through a new lens. You begin to notice the energy fields around people, the way their emotions ripple through the air like invisible waves. You might even start seeing flashes of light, shadows that move in the corner of your vision, or auras around living beings. This is where fear comes in, because when your third eye opens, you don't just see the beauty, you also see the darkness. You realize that not all energies around you are pure. You become aware of the hidden forces at play in this world, the ones that most people never perceive, and this can be overwhelming. Many people who go through this experience feel isolated. They try to talk to others about what they are feeling, but most people don't understand. They dismiss it as imagination, as paranoia, as overthinking, and so you begin to withdraw. You spend more time alone, not because you want to, but because normal conversations feel empty now. The small talk, the gossip, the mindless distractions, they no longer resonate with you. You crave depth, truth, something real. This is the solitude that comes with awakening. It is not a punishment, it is preparation. The universe is giving you space to integrate this new awareness, to adjust to the heightened perception you are developing. But here's the most important question. Are you ready to fully open your third eye? Because once it is open, you will never see the world the same way again. You will begin to understand things that others cannot. You will see through deception instantly. You will sense when someone is lying, when their words do not match their energy. You will feel the emotions of others before they even speak. You will start receiving intuitive messages, gut feelings so strong that ignoring them will feel impossible. But this gift is also a responsibility, because once you have this awareness, you cannot pretend to be asleep anymore. You cannot engage in the same toxic patterns, the same meaningless distractions. You will be called to something greater. And this is where many people resist. They want the power, but they do not want the responsibility. They want the insight, but they do not want the transformation that comes with it. But the truth is, you cannot have one without the other. The third eye does not open just to entertain you with visions. It opens to awaken you to your true purpose, to pull you out of the illusion, to remind you of who you really are. So the question is, now that you are feeling these signs, now that you know what is happening to you, will you embrace it or will you turn away? Because this is only the beginning. The real journey begins when you stop fearing your awakening and start stepping into it fully. And that, my friend, changes everything. The hidden dangers of a half-open third eye, why most people get stuck in the awakening process. Opening the third eye is not just a spiritual milestone, it is a shift in perception so profound that it can either liberate you or trap you in a new kind of illusion. Many people begin this journey with excitement, eager to gain insight, intuition, and a deeper understanding of reality. But what they fail to realize is that an awakening that is only halfway complete is more dangerous than never awakening at all. This is where most people get stuck. They see glimpses of truth, but they do not integrate it. They receive visions, but they do not understand them. They begin to sense energies, but they do not know how to protect themselves. And so, instead of reaching enlightenment, they fall into confusion, paranoia, or even spiritual arrogance. One of the greatest dangers of a half-open third eye is distorted perception. When your awareness begins to expand, you start seeing beyond the physical world. You notice patterns, symbols, synchronicities. You begin to pick up on the energy of people and places. But if your mind is not disciplined, if your heart is not grounded, this new perception can lead you astray. You might start assigning meaning to everything, seeing signs where there are none, mistaking your own fears for divine messages. This is how people fall into delusion. They begin to believe that every thought they have is a prophecy, that every coincidence is a cosmic message, that they are somehow more enlightened than those around them. But true wisdom does not come from seeing. It comes from understanding, and understanding requires patience, humility, and deep inner work. Another common trap is spiritual ego. The moment someone begins to awaken, they often feel different from others. They see things that their friends and family do not. They notice the illusions of the world while others remain blind to them. And this can create a sense of superiority. Many people who start opening their third eye begin to look down on those who are still asleep. They start speaking in cryptic language, claiming to have knowledge that others cannot comprehend. They isolate themselves, convinced that they are special, chosen, more advanced. But this is just another illusion. True awakening does not separate you from the world. It connects you to it more deeply. The most enlightened beings do not walk around declaring their wisdom. They live it, quietly, humbly, in every action, every word, every moment. If your awakening makes you feel superior, then it is not true awakening. It is just another layer of the ego disguising itself as spirituality. Then there is the danger of psychic overload. When the third eye begins to open, it floods the mind with new information. Some people start experiencing intense dreams, visions, even auditory or sensory distortions. They feel as if they are tapping into hidden dimensions, receiving messages from higher realms. And while some of these experiences are real, others are simply the subconscious mind adjusting to the new frequency. Without proper grounding, this can lead to paranoia, anxiety, or even psychosis. Many people who force their third eye open too quickly find themselves overwhelmed by what they see. They cannot distinguish between inner visions and external reality. They start feeling watched, followed, manipulated by unseen forces. They lose their sense of stability, their connection to the present moment. This is why ancient spiritual traditions emphasized balance, because without grounding, higher perception can become a curse rather than a gift. And then there is the fear of the unknown. As your third eye opens, you become aware of things that most people never perceive. You sense the energy of a room before you even enter it. You feel the emotions of others as if they were your own. You may even start seeing shadows, lights, or presences that you cannot explain. This is where many people panic. They realize that reality is far more complex than they ever imagined. They understand that they are not alone, that there are energies, entities, and forces beyond what the physical senses can detect. And this realization can be terrifying. Some people shut down their third eye completely, retreating into denial. Others become obsessed with protection rituals, afraid of what they might encounter. But fear is simply the mind's reaction to the unknown. And the unknown is not necessarily dangerous, it is only unfamiliar. The key is to develop strength, to cultivate inner peace so that no external force can shake you. Because once you stop fearing the unknown, you realize that you were never truly alone. You were simply unaware of the vastness of existence. But perhaps the most dangerous trap of all is getting lost in the awakening itself. Some people become so fascinated by their third eye opening that they forget why they started this journey in the first place. They chase mystical experiences, seeking visions, meditations, and supernatural encounters, but they fail to integrate any of it into their daily lives. They disconnect from the present moment, constantly searching for the next spiritual high. But awakening is not about escaping reality. It is about seeing reality more clearly. It is about bringing higher awareness into the ordinary moments, into your relationships, your work, your actions. If your spiritual journey is pulling you away from life rather than deepening your connection to it, then something is missing. So, what is the solution? How do you move beyond these traps and fully step into the power of an awakened third eye? The answer is balance. You must ground yourself as much as you expand. For every moment of deep meditation, there must be a moment of conscious action in the real world. For every vision received, there must be an effort to understand and apply it. For every new spiritual insight, there must be humility, a recognition that true wisdom is endless, that there is always more to learn. Awakening is not about escaping into higher realms. It is about merging the higher with the lower, bringing divine awareness into human experience. And so ask yourself, are you truly awakening, or are you just collecting spiritual experiences? Are you integrating what you are learning, or are you just accumulating knowledge without application? Because true awakening is not measured by how much you see, but by how much you transform. And transformation is not just about perception, it is about action. If your third eye is opening, do not resist it, but also do not rush it. Move with patience, with awareness, with the understanding that this is not a race. You are not here to achieve enlightenment, you are here to embody it, to live it, to bring it into every moment of your existence. Because only then does the awakening truly begin. The final stage, living with an open third eye and navigating the new reality. Once your third eye is fully open, there is no returning to the way things used to be. The illusion of separation dissolves, and you begin to see the world for what it truly is. An intricate dance of energy, consciousness, and divine intelligence unfolding in every moment. You no longer just exist in reality, you perceive its depths, its hidden layers, its unspoken truths. But with this heightened awareness comes a new challenge, navigating life with an open third eye while remaining balanced, grounded, and aligned with your purpose, because seeing is not enough. The question is, what will you do with what you now know? The first realization that strikes you is how deeply conditioned the world is. You see people moving through life as if they are asleep, trapped in patterns of fear, desire, and distraction. You hear conversations that lack depth, feel energies that are heavy with unconsciousness, and witness how society thrives on keeping people disconnected from their true power. This realization can be painful. You may feel frustrated, wanting to shake people awake to make them see what you now see. But awakening cannot be forced. Just as your journey unfolded in its own time, so too will theirs. The greatest mistake an awakened being can make is to impose their truth on others who are not ready. True wisdom is knowing when to speak and when to simply be. You begin to experience time differently. Moments stretch longer or they disappear in an instant. You find yourself slipping into states where the past, present, and future seem to merge, where intuition guides you more than logic. You no longer feel bound by the rigid structure of linear existence. Instead, you move in harmony with the flow of life, trusting that everything is unfolding exactly as it should. This trust is one of the greatest gifts of an awakened third eye. Fear begins to fade because you no longer see yourself as a victim of circumstances. You realize that reality is not happening to you, it is responding to you. Your thoughts, emotions, and energy shape your experience. What you focus on expands, and what you truly believe manifests. This understanding is liberating, but it also carries great responsibility, because now you cannot blame the world for your suffering. You must take full ownership of your energy, your choices, and the reality you are creating. Relationships change. Some people drift away, unable to match your new frequency. Others are drawn to you, sensing something in you that they cannot explain. You become a mirror, reflecting back the truth that others may not be ready to face. Some will be inspired, others will be threatened. Not everyone will celebrate your awakening, and that is okay. Your path is not to be understood by all, it is to be walked with integrity, regardless of who chooses to walk beside you. The key is discernment. Not everyone who seeks your energy has pure intentions. You must learn to protect yourself, to set boundaries, to recognize when someone is draining you rather than elevating you. An open third eye does not mean saying yes to everyone. It means seeing clearly, choosing wisely, and surrounding yourself with those who uplift your spirit rather than weigh it down. Your connection to nature deepens. You feel the pulse of the earth beneath your feet, the language of the wind, the silent wisdom of the trees. You realize that everything is alive, that consciousness is not limited to humans but flows through all of existence. You begin to understand the intricate balance of the universe, the way everything is interconnected. This awareness brings a profound sense of peace. No longer do you feel separate, lost, or alone. You realize that you are part of something vast and infinite, a thread woven into the fabric of the cosmos. And with this realization, fear dissolves. Because how can you be afraid when you know that you are existence itself, unfolding in human form? But here is the greatest paradox. You must now learn how to live in this world while knowing that it is an illusion. You must work, interact, engage with society, all while being fully aware that most of it is a game, a temporary experience in the grand play of consciousness. This is where many awakened beings struggle. Some retreat, unable to reconcile their new awareness with the mundane world. Others reject material existence entirely, believing that spirituality means abandoning all earthly desires. But true mastery is not in escaping the world, it is in learning how to exist within it without being consumed by it. The enlightened ones do not run from life, they bring light into it. They do not reject the material, they simply do not attach to it. They do not see the world as something to escape, but as something to transform. So, how do you live with an open third eye? The answer is balance. You must ground yourself daily, through meditation, through nature, through simple human joys. You must remain humble, remembering that awakening is not a destination, but an endless unfolding. You must continue learning, questioning, growing, knowing that the moment you believe you have reached the ultimate truth, you have only built another illusion. And above all, you must use your awareness for something greater than yourself. Because the purpose of awakening is not to isolate, it is to illuminate. Your presence, your energy, your being itself becomes a beacon, subtly shifting the world around you. Not through force, not through preaching, but simply by existing in truth. And so the final question is not whether your third eye has opened, it is, what will you do now that it has? Because seeing is only the beginning. The real journey begins when you start living what you have seen. The ultimate truth, becoming the creator of your own reality. There comes a moment in every awakening where you realize that everything you thought was external is actually internal. The world is not something happening to you, it is something happening through you. Every experience, every challenge, every so-called coincidence is a reflection of your own consciousness, mirroring back the energy you carry within. This is the final secret, the realization that separates those who merely awaken from those who truly transcend. Because an open third eye is not just about seeing beyond the veil, it is about understanding that you are the one weaving it. You are not just a witness to reality, you are its architect. And once you fully absorb this truth, everything changes. Most people live their lives as if they are at the mercy of the world. They react instead of create. They look at circumstances and believe they are powerless to change them. But the awakened ones know better. They understand that reality bends to the frequency they hold. What you focus on expands, what you believe manifests. The energy you emit shapes the energy you attract. This is not philosophy, it is a law as real as gravity, and yet so many refuse to accept it because it places the responsibility back on them. It means that every limitation, every struggle, every recurring pattern is not something being done to them, it is something they are unconsciously creating. But this is not a burden, it is liberation. Because if you are the one creating it, you are also the one who can change it. Look at your life right now, the people around you, the situations you find yourself in, the emotions that cycle through your mind. These are not random. They are reflections of your current state of consciousness. If you are surrounded by negativity, it is because somewhere within you there is a frequency that aligns with it. If you constantly experience lack, it is because there is a belief deep inside you that says you are unworthy of abundance. The third eye does not just let you see energy, it makes you accountable for it. And this is where the real work begins, because now you must ask yourself, what am I creating? What energy am I feeding? What version of reality am I choosing to live in? There are infinite versions of reality existing simultaneously, each vibrating at a different frequency. There is a version of you that is thriving, powerful, limitless, and there is a version of you that is stuck, fearful, small. The version you experience is determined by the energy you embody. This is why two people can live in the same world but have completely different experiences. One sees obstacles while the other sees opportunities. One lives in fear while the other moves with confidence. They are not living in different places, they are living in different frequencies. And the moment you master your own vibration, you master your reality. This is why the third eye is not just about spiritual visions, it is about conscious creation. It is about knowing that every thought, every emotion, every intention is shaping the world around you. And this is where most people fail. They awaken, but they do not take control. They see the illusion, but they do not rewrite it. They realize their power, but they do not use it. Because stepping into this level of mastery means letting go of excuses. It means no longer blaming the past, no longer waiting for permission, no longer seeking validation. It means understanding that the universe is not separate from you, it is responding to you. And if you are not consciously directing your energy, then you are unconsciously letting something else do it for you. So what will you choose? Will you continue to see yourself as a passive observer, or will you step into your role as the creator? Will you allow your thoughts to run on autopilot, or will you train your mind to align with the reality you desire? Will you keep feeding old patterns, or will you break them once and for all? Because now you can no longer claim ignorance. Now you know the truth. And the truth is this: you are not here to simply exist. You are here to create, to expand, to evolve. You are here to awaken not just to what is, but to what can be. And once you fully embrace that, once you stop waiting and start becoming, there is nothing in this universe that you cannot manifest. Because the moment you truly open your third eye, you do not just see reality, you command it.